Hey everyone, welcome to Pre-Market Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you to wrap up what I guess you can say is a historic day for the market, specifically in the oil markets. I'll pull up a chart of the May crude contracts. Joel, tell us about this.
I can't believe my eyes here. Well, first we'll run down the S&P futures, and we're trading almost exactly where we are at that 9:30 p.m. open. So throw out the high, throw out the low. Unchanged day pretty much from the market from that 9:30 pre-open. Dipped down to 28.08 early, turned around. This was in the pre-market session. Rallied back, we got down to 28.1075 early. That was shy of your pre-market low. Had a nice rally, got up to 28.6075. That was short of your pre-market high. And then as that May crude began to unravel, so did investors' nerves. I cannot believe what I'm quoting now, and I hope that I'm not going to be quoting this in the June when the June expires. The May contract is down 310%. That's $56.56 to the percentage to the, I'm sorry, 310 percentage. Net change is down $56.57, and it's currently trading at a negative 38.30. So don't ask me how they're going to do that on your brokerage statements, and don't ask me how that's going to be clearing. But the thing is we got another day of this because the contract does not expire until 2:30 p.m. tomorrow.
So Joel, the obvious question is where is support? Negative 100? Negative 200? I don't know.
Well, can you imagine if you were one of the cats holding the bag, whether you're a producer
Uh,
or a hedger,
feel
and you
horrible.
and you're calling up do you have any storage? And they're like, well, it's just $20, whatever the price is. They're just gouging. And now Kyle Bass is coming on incredibly and saying, while the facilities are full, yeah, you can imagine the facilities are full. You can look at it, and I know the media and everything is like hyping on this, and it definitely has negative implications, but you really got to look at the June contract and you got to see where it's trading at 21.08. It's off the session low of 2019. And you did. Let's see. Did you take out the low from last month? It actually got below the March low. The March low was 21.64. So, the destruction is bad and it's huge on a percentage basis. And we don't know what the implications are for this moving forward. But if you could find any solace in the fact that, the June is holding up better, then go ahead and do so. What's going to happen at the next expiration? No one knows. One thing you have to take into account is that when this contract was trading, because crude rolls every month, this was at the height of of the hopefully the height of the pandemic, where people were slowing down. I thought about this, like, who's driving cars, who's going long distances, and that's probably the largest demand for oil. Who's flying? No one, very low percentage. So yeah, I know people like to look at, buying opportunities and things like this. And I did my article today, pre-market prep stock of the day, Chevron Corporation. Just Dennis, I talked that, this seems to have hold up the best versus Exxon Mobil. Uh, Spencer brought up Cabot, CBT on oil and gas. I think they must be more gas than oil because they're performing pretty well. And then what's the symbol for Williams Company? WMS?
What is the symbol for? I just had it in front of me. Give me a second to find it. It
No,
was,
it's not that. Nope,
I
it's
don't know
not
the
that.
symbol for
Okay.
Williams. Williams is WMB.
Oh, that's right. Williams Brothers. So there you go. I mean, if you want to getting down and dirty in the oil patch, and I mentioned Chevron being the best of breed of the big ones. I mean, these stocks are up today. They're well off their all-time highs. So Perhaps they are better insulated to this decline, and there's no way that you can forecast what's going to happen with the June contract. But a lot of people will be shutting down. I'm not going to be surprised if there's like a few hedge funds that go bye bye yesterday or tomorrow, or some houses that were on the hook. But it's going to be a rough day, and we'll just have to see who survives tomorrow.
And like you said, Joel, we've got 23 hours left, approximately, in in the May contract. So
Yeah, yeah. I
there's
mean,
still this main story is not totally over yet,
well,
but
the low is negative 40.32. We're currently trading negative 38.45. Is this going to go to a negative 100 tomorrow? I don't know. Is it going to go back to zero tomorrow? I don't know. But you only have producers and hedgers, in there that are trading it. They actually, I talked to my one buddy who trades crude oil, and he was actually told by his clearing firm as of last Wednesday that he could no longer trade the May contract. And then as of today, he's like, I'm done with crude. I'm just, I'm going to let it go for a while. I'm going to concentrate on the S&Ps, maybe a little bit of gold, but this is a big boys game today. And there's not going to be as many big boys tomorrow as there is today.
and just for fun, I brought up a Gush and Drip, which were two of the leveraged oil ETFs. Gush is the bullish one. Drip is the bearish, two times leveraged funds, and those charts do not look pretty.
Well,
So
also, like, take it to a fact, and we've been talking to this all throughout the COVID-19 crisis. What was the trend heading into this, right?
yeah.
What the trend was down in this sector. Trend was down in oil. So, they hit the oil shock. The other thing that I just can't get out of my mind, and I know we don't have the symbol for it. How about that Saudi Aramco IPO? I mean, huh, how many people
Eh,
got that jammed down their throat? What a time to go public, right? Cash.
If I could be a fly on the wall in the Middle East right now, anywhere in the Middle East would do, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not a fun time to be over there. So, all right, oil is the story of the day, obviously, but it is not the only story of the day. I want to do a quick earnings preview just to follow up on this morning. We talked to IBM for a second at the end of the show. I want to follow up with that because they do report here in a couple of minutes. So I'll pull up IBM. I'll pull up the
How's Beamer
dailies
doing today?
on the screen. Yeah, they're up, which is more you can say for.
Yeah, maybe a little short covering ahead of the report. Tight range here. You put a double bottom in at 118, so we'll keep an eye on that. If it goes south, below that, your next support level comes in at 1442. If they got to 2286 today, that's your high when that nice rally. If you're playing this and you're looking for a target on the upside, I mean, Beamer seems like it always like jumps $5-10 and then gives it all back. And so if you want to target 2518, 12518 was your high on April 14th. But once again, here's an issue that's been in a downtrend for quite a long time. They always seem to come out and beat, but come up shy in revenues. And then they were thinking about blockchain. So a lot of factors here, but if there's a lot better tech stocks out there than IBM. 3824 is where we're trading. We're about to click that magical 350-minute mark where we figure out the buy or sell imbalances. Should get a 10-point bolt either way. Oh man, I tell you, I don't even know which way I'm leaning today. There's sell imbalances, folks. We just fell 6 S&P handles in a heartbeat. Uh, Trying to recover, I would say based on that price action. Ooh, boy, there's some stock for sale. There could be there could be a billion here. There could be a billion for sale here. There's your 10-point swoosh. We were at 23. We just went down to 13. Traders are disseminating that information. They are hitting bids to be help offset those sell imbalances. They've been muted as of late. It doesn't seem to be as as an accurate play as it was from those guys, or from the, when the floor was vacated. How long ago was that? When was that a couple weeks ago?
I want to say 3 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Time flies when you're stuck at home. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I totally. How you feeling, Spencer? You feeling any better today?
What, in like mentally? You mean?
No, I mean,
I I'm hanging in there.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
I'm
right.
hanging in there with my goofy smile, my new goofy smile. Let's look at CyberArk here. This is
Sure.
from Aramis in the YouTube chat. We may have discussed this last week. I don't honestly remember. It was
Well, if this
a
is
long
anything
time
like,
ago, but
if
this
you,
was Anne Marie's pick of the year, was it not?
yeah, things changed a little bit.
Things did change.
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat her up for that. Definitely the market, complexion of the market has changed dramatically since then. This is kind of like a Rob Hood chart here. You're banging up against some resistance. The stock has not rebounded like the rest of the market. Does it have a report? Does it have a catalyst coming out? Uh, Man, it's only 300 million to sell, folks. Only 300 million to sell on the close. I don't know. I think the bots may have got a little. That's not much at all. That's like half of my portfolio and half of Spencer's portfolio. We're not
There you
selling
go.
on that close.
There you go.
Uh, this chart looks right to me, Aramis. In fact, this chart looks like the one when the Roku one when you gave it to me. It's had its, put in its low. It's had to rebound off the low, getting above the high of the move, 94.62. You've taken that out today, 96.41, coming back to the area where it broke out for, but 95. So do not mind this chart at all. You're quite a distance off that pre-mark or that March trough. It's 69.51, but not a bad looking chart at all. I don't know if you get an upgrade or when they have. I think they report later in the.
Yeah, they're estimated for May 12th. So
Yeah,
we got a ways to go for that.
we're bouncing back, folks. The bots that hit it on that sell imbalance are now maybe scrambling for cover. We were trading at 28.23 on the whoosh down. Where did we get to? Let me go to my 15-minute chart. Found support in the same area that you did in that 230 to 245 bracket at 28.13. Your intraday low comes in at 10.75. We're getting back to where we were right before those imbalances were published. 28, 17, and 18 right now is the last trade.
What about Shake Shack here? They get scolded and they have to give back a loan they got from
Why?
the SBA. Well, because they're not really a small business. Uh,
Oh, they snuck it in, huh?
yeah, they were compliant to the letter of the qualifications, but I mean they're not really a small business. So it
Oh,
was
so
a
that's
nice little loophole, but they're going to give the money back. Up 7% today, though.
ah, I don't know. You know what's happening? People are looking at that Wingstop chart and
You're
going,
probably
okay,
right.
yeah, that's it. I mean, the burgers are good, but they're small and expensive. I don't, we had the one across the office. I mean, our office we haven't been to in a long time. They're not selling many burgers. I don't know what their takeout business is, but I think what you have, people are, digging for gold here in a stock like this. And hopefully, it pulls a wing stop for them. I just can't see, I don't know when they're reporting, and I can't see any other, fundamental reason. Maybe it's just, a dash for trash, but bumping up against the recent high of the move, ready to bust through. You can lean on the low of the move for Shake Shack, but that's my thesis on that.
Yeah, Jason Raznick in the chat correcting me. I don't know if I said they had to. They didn't have to give it back. I think they just chose to give it back.
Yeah, and just as far as the oil goes here, just take your eye off the May contract and say that
Why? It's so much fun to look at.
it's so much fun to look at. But first of all, you can't trade it as an individual investor, and
True.
I think you just have to keep an eye. the June crude did make a new low for the move. It could be, one of the, greatest opportunities of the century on the buy side here with oil with this kind of confusion. If things snap back, the economy gets going. This might be the lowest use of oil, because it started during the crisis. Or you could just have a repeat of this in June. I'll just would keep an eye on the contract low for the June. It's a buck off there. Let's see what kind of companies come out of this tomorrow. But actually, I might not even have this May on my front screen tomorrow. And
Probably for the best.
yeah, and it takes it takes a while for this to translate to the pump. But man, I think, let's see, I've been home. This is my eighth week being at home, and I filled my tank up yesterday for the first time, and I only had to put in a half a tank. So
Yeah.
yeah, in your car, you haven't driven it all, it won't even start. So
It starts now. Thank you very much. But I've had a full tank for a month and a half. And you go to Costco, you're paying what, $1.10 a gallon.
yeah,
So
I did
yeah.
feel. Okay, we got 3 minutes left into the close here.
Yep.
Selling balances did give us a little bit of a haircut, but we're okay now. We're still in the general area of this morning's open. Let's cover a few more issues here. We got
Sure.
3 minutes left.
Sure. In the YouTube chat, William Lay is you're looking at short Marriott here.
Short MAR, right? Ah, man. You had the low, you had the rebound. You seem to have another lid on this, right? You backed off that 89.03. I mean, the only thing you get caught in this is if, like, there's a vaccine or a cure tomorrow. But, I definitely, if I had to pick a position, long or short in something like this, you have to lean to the short side since no one's staying in hotels. There's very little traveling going on, at least in Michigan. I can't speak for the entire country. Bill, you've had some quiet consolidation here. You do have multiple low. You've been in a trading range between, let's call it 76 and 85 for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions. I know that's a pretty big range. But if you want to perhaps use a breakdown of the lower edge of that boundary for a short, leaning on the top, it's a pretty wide range. But man, oh man, when we do get back to normal, it's going to take a while for these companies to get the hotels back in shape to go, get the employees back. So it's a tough sector. What's the other one? Hilton? Where's Hilton? I know that Ackman was talking about that. It's
Yeah.
travel.
Didn't he say he was buying it?
I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah.
And that was when it was the $50, $55 area. So long, short, use your good risk reward rewards, use your parameters, and look for a quick resolution to the crisis. And stocks like this, you'll wake up one morning and they'll be ripping higher. So
Yeah.
yeah, make your investments according to your time horizon and your risk reward in your uh, nature of trading.
What about a trade here on CODX? They had news this morning. They came out and said that they are still seeing an increase in the number of orders for their test kits. And that was the catalyst here early this morning.
Hard to be
So,
short these stocks.
yeah, very, very
Right,
tricky.
right. So I wouldn't, these kind of stocks, you can do all the technical analysis that you want on it, but they come out with good news and, they're going to take off. They're going to rip your face off. So if you're buying it, we're slumping down here. Near the lows of the session, we just dipped to 28.12. I think that selling balances did weigh on the market a little bit. We're going to end up about down 600 in the Dow Jones Industrials. Yes, it's a bad day, but considering how much of the damage was done overnight, it's not an absolutely horrible day for the market. So, Spencer, if there's
Yep.
anything else you want to add to this, very unusual day here. And what do you know? It happens on 420 of all days that the crude market goes negative, which is a lot of people rubbing their eyes looking at that screen today.
Yep, a lot of people maybe need a medicinal escape tonight after a
Very
day
good.
like today. All right. On tomorrow's show, we'll be joined by Nick Shaheen, author of Create Income with Option Spreads. In the meantime, you can catch a replay of this show or any other broadcast on our YouTube channel. Catch the podcast of Pre-Market Prep on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever platform you prefer. For a discount to Benzinga Pro, click on the link in the description of this video. And please remember that all the information from this broadcast is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. All right, that'll be it for us. Everyone have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Be safe.